people in the sexual health community who I admire so much because, you know, they said, we're not going to exclude homosexuality as being unhealthy. We're not going to exclude fetishism as being unhealthy. You know, the sexual health community fought very hard for people whose behavior in the bedroom was private and didn't hurt anybody to be non-pathological. And I think that they really get, and especially for me as a gay man, they get a big vote of my appreciation. But when sexual health becomes exclusive, and you start to say, but those people can't be sex addicts, or those people can't have a problem, then your work at expanding the field starts to work against you. Because while some in the sexual health community might say, well, any kind of consensual sex that someone has and they choose to have is perfectly fine. And if it hurts their relationship or it hurts their, well, that's their choice, you know? And because I have an addiction background, I think, and a trauma background, I think to myself, well, that sounds right, but I know so many sexual trauma survivors who have become sex workers, and they're not particularly happy being prostitutes, or they may be very defensive about their being prostitutes, but they did it maybe because it was an easy way for them to survive, and they didn't mind having the sex they were having with these people or being paid because of what happened to them at an early age, so they kind of fell into it. But to say that just because every sex worker is consensually agreeing to sex, that it's a joyful, happy experience for them, or that everyone who's been sexually abused who chooses to have sex with 100 people a year is happy with their sex life, I think misses what happens when our early child attachments and development are profoundly compromised. But if your sexual behavior is not leading you toward your larger goals of family, community, career, education, children, then we have to take a look at it, because you have bigger goals than just getting laid, but your getting laid seems to be getting in the way. It feels hopeless because it's so shameful. You know, I mean, our culture's kind of reached the point where I think a woman can say to her neighbor, you know, who she's friends with, and maybe they have kids of the same age, she can say, you know, my husband just went into treatment for drinking, and you kind of know, you've seen him at some parties, and that neighbor's going to say, oh, I'm so glad for you, and how can I help you? And if you need to go to the treatment center, can I watch your kids? But I don't know that we're at a place where that woman is going to say to her neighbor, no matter how much she respects her, you know, my husband has had 3 affairs and looked at about, 20 hours of webcam porn in the last 2 weeks. And I think he needs some, I mean, I just don't think that people are as likely to talk about this or get help for it because it feels so shameful. With sex addiction, it's more shameful. It's more embarrassing. It's a joke, oh yeah, that's what I want to be, a sex addict. No, you don't. That's like saying you want to be an alcoholic and drive into trees. You may like drinking, that's okay. And sex is okay too. But sex in the way that sex addicts carry it out is like driving drunk. You just don't want to be that person.
Go to KillibyCenter.com, Radical Recovery Summit, to see the full schedule of speakers and to register to watch these free online September 23rd and 24th in the Radical Recovery Summit 2017.